is fraction defective again. N is the sample size. Try to understand this one. Here it will not make use of Q. Because here we are going to make use, when we are going to make use, if this P is very small. Here P is considerably large, hence I are going for Q. Here P is very small. Okay? And N, whatever the N I am going to consider here, it tends to infinity. Okay? Again, if you observe this one, here also X is there, P is there, lambda means, instead of writing lambda, I could have mentioned NP, N is there, P is there, Q is not there, capital N is there. That is the difference. Okay? Is there any time? Let me see whether the time is up. This is what is going to happen. And you try to observe, it's one more thing, it's here it was NPQ. Or if you look at the mean and variance are same, it follows the Poisson distribution. Not same, it follows this. That is what it means. It's as simple as. Okay, friends, I'll stop at this point today because I have laid down the basic foundation for the study on this control charts. Which one is to be, which distribution is to be used, we need to pick it up and then use it. That we'll discuss in the subsequent classes. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So we'll continue with the reliability. In the last class, we had discussed about the definition of the reliability. That means we can define the reliability of the product as the probability of a device that it will perform its intended function without failure to a certain period of time under certain environmental conditions. So I discussed what are the terms that are important with respect to the definition of the reliability, and also we had discussed the bathtub curve for any product, or we can say the mortality curve for any product. So today we'll discuss about what are the points we need to consider for designing a product with respect to the reliability. What are the points we need to consider in designing a product for reliability? So we can say it as designing for reliability. Designing for reliability. The points we need to consider is that the first one is the simplicity. The first one is the simplicity of the product. The second one, what I can say, is the redundancy. Redundancy. And third is the protection from environmental conditions. Protection from environmental conditions. Fourth, if you are selecting the new part, then review of new part selected. And you need to always specify corrective replacement time of any part in an assembly. Corrective replacement time. And the last is, don't replace the parts which have proved their worth. So these are some of the points which we need to consider when we are designing a part for reliability. The first one, as I mentioned over here, is the simplicity of the product. So that means if you make a product a more complex, then more number of parts will be involved in that product, which will ultimately lead to the unreliability. That means the chances of failure of that product may increase because of the more number of parts that are involved in that product. That means if the product is more complex, it is having more chances to fail. Hence, we always make sure that the product what you are building is simple in design as well as simple in assembly. That means it must have less number of parts as far as possible. The next one is the redundancy. This is one term which plays very important role in designing a part for its reliability. That means redundancy means duplication. Redundancy means duplications. Suppose you consider a product, it may be having around, we just assume that the product considered may be having around 10 parts, and those 10 parts are assembled to form a particular product. We know that among these 10 parts, there are 4 parts are very crucial. The 4 parts are very crucial. Among these 4 parts, we come to know that the 2 parts which are very crucial among these 4 parts are having very less lifespan. So what happens is that if these 2 parts among these 4 parts, if these 2 parts which are having less lifespan fails, then the entire assembly is going to fail, and hence the product will not perform its intended function. Hence, to avoid this, what we will do, we will just make one more duplication parts of these two parts and will consider in an assembly. So this will act as a duplicate part for this. Whenever these parts fail, the function of this will be done by this part, and other part, if other part also fails, that function will be done by this other part. Hence, the lifespan or the reliability of the product is increased by involving redundancy. Next, protection from environmental condition. Before releasing a product to the customer, we need to check that the product is tested from all its environmental conditions. That means we need to make sure that the product is performing its intended function in various environmental conditions that it will be put into. So that we need to consider. If you consider that and if you design the product, then ultimately the reliability of the product will be enhanced. The next is the review of new parts selected. Suppose a time will come in designing a part or in designing a product, what happens, we will be using, we'll consider this same product and we'll be using some 10 parts, and one of the supplier of this parts backs off, or the company will itself shut down. So, but we want that product, that part to get assembled in this product to perform its function. So, in that case, what we are going to do is that we'll acquire a new customer to, or the new salesperson to supply that part which will be fitted in this assembly to form the product. So, in that terms, in those terms, if you are considering a new part which has to be fitted in the assembly, a thorough inspection of that new part has to be made with respect to its material specifications, with respect how it is going to behave in certain environmental conditions, and what will be the behavior of that part in actual service. So those all the things that we need to consider if you are getting a new part into the product because of some reasons. And next is the specified corrective replacement time. As you know that if you have a car or a two-wheeler, when you get service, he always mentions that after a certain period of time, the oil, the engine oil needs to be changed. So that is the time he's giving, right, to replace that engine oil. Similarly, if a number of parts are getting assembled to form a product, we need to mention that the specific corrective replacement time for each part, so that the customer or the end user who are using those products will come to know that which parts need a replacement after a certain period of usage of time. So he will take necessary actions, and within that, when she has reached that lifetime of that particular period, she will replace that part, and thus it will not affect the functionality of the product. The next one is the don't replace the parts which you have which have proved their worth. So sometimes we have replaced the parts because of some various reasons, because the part may be not available, or the supplier who was supplying that part has withdrawn because of some conflicts. But for some other reasons, if there is no reason, then there is no need to replace the parts which are already proved time and time again their worth, because unnecessarily we can't play with the reliability of the product by using the parts which have showed their worth and not replacing those parts. So these are some of the points which we need to consider in designing a product for maximum reliability. So from the previous class, we are talking about the term reliability, isn't it? And then there had to be certain expression to measure the term reliability. Hence, we'll discuss about the measurement of reliability. Measurement of reliability. So for that, we'll just consider n parts which are taken from a group or a lot. Among them, NT parts fail over a period of time. We'll consider n number of parts from a lot or a group, and among them, NT parts will fail over a period of time t. Then probability of failure is represented by Pt and is given by Nt by N. Probability of failure is given by Nt by N. So, but we have taken only a limited period of time, but if we consider over a long period of time, then this probability of failure can be represented as from t is equal to 0 to its lifetime by considering the time from the starting to the lifetime. The probability of failure is given by this equation. But we don't want the probability of failure, we are looking for the reliability. Hence, reliability of any product over a time is given by R is equal to 1 minus probability of failure. 1 minus probability of failure. So that means to substitute that, it will be 1 minus summation of from starting to lifetime t and t by n and t by n. So, but we have considered only a small part sample from a group. But if you consider a large number of parts, then this function will become a smooth function ft, which will be a smooth function ft. Hence, the reliability of the parts are given by 1 minus integration from time 0 to t ft into dt. But we know that the probability of failure will remain constant for most of the time. Hence, this function ft will become probability index function. Hence, we can represent ft as 1 by theta e raised to minus t by t. So, substitute this equation, that means if you substitute 3 into, now going to get R as reliability of a product is given as 1 minus 0 to t e raised to minus t by theta. So, if you do the integration process, what you are going to get the reliability as e raised to minus t by theta. So, this is the expression which will determine the reliability of any product, where t is the required life in hours, you can say, and theta is equal to mean time between failure. Theta is equal to mean time between failure. So, this you need to remember to calculate the reliability of any system. Now sometimes it has been asked in the question paper that we need to prove that failure rate designated as lambda is reciprocal of mean time between failures, that is represented as theta. We need to prove that the failure rate lambda is reciprocal of mean time between failures theta. So for that, we'll again consider n number of parts from a group for a period of time t, and the components are going to fail, and those are again recovered. But those failure number of components fails are given by rate r, and we know that the failure rate lambda is equal to percentage of failures divided by total time period divided by total time period. The percentage of failure is r and total time period is nt, which is equal to lambda. If I take with respect to r, then this equation will become lambda nt. Now coming back to mean time between failures, which is represented as theta, it is equal to total time period divided by the percentage of failures. So it is given as nt by r. Here it is theta. So from this equation you just substitute the value of r, that is lambda and t. Here n gets cancelled, t gets cancelled. So hence t is equal to 1 by lambda. And you can also write this as failure rate is equal to 1 by theta. And hence prove. It is one of the simplest expression. Just substitute the value of lambda and mean time between failure with respect to the definition, and then substitute the value of r over here, we'll get this. I'll start with the numericals. So first one is determine the reliability of a system for a period of 100 hours if the mean time between failure is 500 hours. So that means they are asking you to determine the reliability of the system. What we need to find out is the reliability of the system. That is the question mark. And what is given? I'll just repeat the question one more time. Determine the reliability of a system for a period of 100 hours if the mean time between failure is 500 hours. So we are asked to find out the reliability of the system. The given is the time period, that is 100 hours, and mean time between failure, that is theta is equal to 500 hours. That is theta is equal to 500 hours. We know that the reliability we had R is equal to e raised to minus lambda t, e raised to minus lambda t, where lambda is the failure rate and t is the time period. Here we know the t, but we don't know the lambda, but we also know that the failure rate is equal to 1 by theta, that is the mean time between failures. Hence this lambda is equal to 1 by 500, 1 by 500. I just replace this over here, that is R is equal to e raised to minus 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 and t is given as 100. So it will come as 0.8187. 0.8187. If you want to express in percentage, it will be 81.87 percentage. So in the given problem, the product is 81.87% reliable, assuming this data. So let's take one more problem similar to this. It is given as, given a theta of 5000 hours and a uniform failure rate, given a theta of 5000 hours and a uniform failure rate, what is the probability associated with the specified service period of 200 hours? So again, here in this problem also, what we need to find is the reliability of the system. And what is given? The mean time between failure is given as 5000 and time period is given as 200 hours. And we know that again the reliability is equal to e raised to minus lambda t, and we know that lambda is equal to 1 by mean time between failure, that is lambda is equal to 1 by 5000. So it will be 22 10 raised to minus 4, and if we substitute over here, it is e raised to minus 200. So it will come as 0.9607. So if you are going to present in the form of percentile, it is 96.07 percentage. So that means in the given problem, the product is 96.07 percentage reliable with the given specified data. With the given specified data. So we'll note down the next problem, that is A device has a failure rate of 5 to 10 raised to minus 6 failures per hour. I repeat, a device has a failure rate of 5 to 10 raised to minus 6 failures per hour, and first bit they have asked to find out what is the reliability for an operating period of 100 hours, and the second bit is if 10,000 items are placed in the test, how many failures are expected in 100 hours, and third is what is mean time between failures, and the fourth bit is what is the reliability of the system when operating time is equal to mean time between failures, and the fifth bit what they have asked you to find out is the if the useful life is 1 lakh hours, what is the reliability for operating over its useful life. So I'll just repeat one more time. A device has a failure rate of 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 failures per hour. They are given the failure rate, and they have asked us to find out in the first bit the reliability for 100 hours. In the second bit they have asked if 10,000 items are placed in the test, how many failures are expected in 100 hours. And the third bit they have asked you to find out is what is mean time between failure, and the fourth bit they have asked is to find out the reliability of the system when operating time is equal to mean time between failures. And the fifth bit they have asked to find out if the useful life is 1 lakh hours, what is the reliability for operating over its entire useful life. So I just mentioned over here the given data first. What is given is the failure rate, that is lambda they have given it is 5 into 10 raised to minus 6 failures per hour, and in the first what they have asked us to find is in the first bit to find out the reliability if the operating period is 100 hours, and in the second bit if $10,000 items are placed, that is the number of items at 10,000 are placed in a test. If you are considering 10,000 items in a test, how many failures are expected? How many failures are expected? Failures are expected in a time of 100 hours. And in the third bit they have asked theta, that you know it is mean time between failures, and D again they have asked us to find out the reliability if the operating time T is equal to theta. If the operating time T is equal to mean time between failure, that is theta. And last, if the useful life is, that is T is 1 lakh hours, the useful time T is 1 lakh hours, what is the reliability of the system for operating over its useful life, for operating in with the useful life. So we'll find out first. The first bit, we know R is equal to e raised to minus lambda t. Just substitute. The failure rate is given minus 10 raised to minus 6, and time t is given as 1000 hours. So here just calculate. It will come as 0.99 If you want to take it in percentage, it will be 99.50%. So this is the answer of the first bit. Second bit, they have asked if 10,000 parts are considered in a test, how many failures are observed for operating period of 10 hours? So they have asked you to find out R. R, we know that it is equal to n lambda t, where n is the number of items considered in a test, that is 10,000, and lambda is the failure rate. We know it is 5 into 10 raised to minus 6, and time period they are given again as 100 hours. 100 hours. So number of failures R is equal to will come as 5. Come as 5. So here this is done, and they are asked to calculate C, that is theta, which is equal to mean time between failure. We know that it is 1 by lambda, that is 1 by 5 into 10 raised to minus 6. It will come as 2 lakh hours. It will come as 2 lakh hours. Next is to calculate the reliability. If time t is equal to mean time between failures, that is if t is equal to mean time between failure, that is 2 lakh hours. So here the failure rate lambda is same, that is into 5 into 10 raised to minus 6, and t they ask you to consider the value of theta, that is mean time between failures. So here the answer will come as 0.3678. So write it in percentage, it is 36.78%. Here this is also done. So here in this problem you can see that if time is considered very long, then the reliability of the product is decreased. Here on this page, the E component, that is to calculate again the reliability. We know that it is e raised to minus lambda t, and for value of t which is equal to 1 lakh hours, 1 lakh hours. So again here R is equal to e raised to minus to minus 6 into t is 1 lakh hours. It will come as 0.6065. So I'll define it in percentage as 60.65 percentage. 60.65 percentage. So here you can see that in bit D and E, or in component D and E, what is the change? The change is only time period T. Rest all things are same. Here it is 1 lakh, here it is 2 lakh. And just look at the reliability. For 2 lakh time, the reliability is 6.78. For 1 lakh time period, the reliability is 60.65. So the lesser the time, the more will be the reliability. If the time span is more, then the reliability is obviously going to decrease, which is evident from here. So next, we'll solve one more problem before concluding this class. So the next problem is a piece ground support equivalent has a specific mean time between failure of 100 hours. A piece ground support equivalent has a specific mean time between failures of 100 hours. What is the reliability for a mission time of 1 hour? What is the reliability for a mission time of 1 hour, 10 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours and 300 hours? I repeat, a piece ground support equivalent has a specific mean time between failure of 100 hours. What is the reliability for a mission time of 1 hour, 10 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours and 300 hours? And then they have asked, graph these answers by plotting the mission time versus reliability. Graph these answers by plotting the mean time versus reliability. So here what we need to do is that we need to find out the reliability for the time 1 hour, 10 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours and 300 hours by considering failure at lambda is equal to 100 hours, and then we need to plot the graph of mission time versus reliability. The mission time is 1 hour, 10 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours and 300 hours. The failure rate in this problem, that is the fourth, is given as lambda is equal to mean time between failure is given as T is equal to 100 hours, and we need to find the reliability that is given to find the reliability for a time period of T is equal to 1 hour, T is equal to 10 hours, T is equal to 100 hours, T is equal to 200 hours and T is equal to 300 hours. So we know that the reliability is given by the equation E is raised to minus lambda. The lambda is equal to failure rate, where lambda is equal to failure rate and is reciprocal of mean time between failure. That is 0.01. So we'll just find the reliability for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is 1. And fifth, the reliability for a time period of 300 hours. So for the first, that is 9, sorry, point 99, and for the second, it is 0.904, and for the third, it is 0.367, and for the fourth it is 0.01 into 200. This answer will come as 0.135, and for the last, liability will come as 0.01 into 0.0497, 0.0497. So I'll just write down the answers over here. For 10 hours it is 1 hour it is 0.99, and for 10 hours it is 0.904. For 100 hours it is 0.367. For 200 hours it is 0.135. For 300 hours it is 0.0497. And they have asked you to graph these answers by plotting mission time versus reliability. Mission time versus reliability. Mission time versus reliability. or time versus reliability. Time. So take it as 0, and time intervals we take it as 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and 350. And reliability we take it as intervals of 0.5, 1, point. We just better convert into 2%. That will be good. It's 99%. It's 90%. That is 36.7%, and it is 13.5%, and it is 4.97%. So yes, you can write it clearly then. It is 5. And this will be 100, and the first is for a time of 1 hour, and the percentage will assume this time here as 1, and the percentage is 99%. This is the first point. This is second, this is third. Fifth. Second is at 10 hours, we'll assume it here 90%. 10 hours here, 90%. Third is 100 hours, 36.7%. 100 hours, 36.7% somewhere here. And for 200 hours it is 13.5. For 200 hours it is 13.5 somewhere here. And for 300 hours it is 4.97%. For 300 hours it is 4.97%. 300 hours, 4.97%. So just join all these curves. Just join all these curves. what you can see from this curve is that, what is evident from this curve is that as the time frame goes on increasing, by keeping the failure rate constant, the reliability goes on decreasing. The reliability goes on decreasing with the increase in the time frame by keeping the failure rate lambda constant. By keeping failure rate lambda as constant. So next we'll discuss about the reliability of a system, reliability of a system. If the system is connected in series and if the system is connected in parallel. If the system is connected in series and if the system is connected in parallel. I think we'll continue these topics in the next class. Thank you.